Hey guys, and welcome to Faith Works Designs. I'm Faith. So today we are doing another collaboration with Kim and Alex, and we are doing the Winchester's Guide for the Supernatural show. I don't watch it, so all I know is it's got Dean from Gilmore Girls in it. So on the outside you've got your Winchester's Guide. On the back it's just a plain, has this little like stuff up here on the corners. And then on the inside, you've got this. And then it's really plain on the inside. You can play around with the lining if you want to add something or do something different, that's fine. But on the inside of this one, we've got our little zipper with the new matching zipper pulls. Hopefully you can see that. So, let's get started. Alright, so you're going to get your panel and it is going to look like this. And then let's go over hardware real quick. If you want to add a zipper to the inside of yours, we're going to do that on the lining today. But Kimmy, I keep thinking Kimmy B's, it's K&A's now. They've got some cute zipper pulls to go with this bag if you want to use that. You're also going to need your hardware for your strap. Just your basic hardware. I'm using a 1.5 inch strap. You're going to need some D-rings, and you're going to have some D-ring strap connectors that come with the pattern. And what you're going to do is when you get your pattern out, you're just going to cut exactly on the outside lines. There's no seam allowance that you need to cut like next to it. You just need to cut exactly where the black stops on the panel. So I cut out the front, and the black is the lining. So I did not interface the lining because I figured it would get too thick. I did interface the outside so it'd be nice and stiff. And then I went ahead and I interfaced both the lining and the outside panel with Decoville Light. I did cut it about 1/4 inch shorter on all of my pieces so that'd be a little easier for me to not get the Decoville Light in my seams. Then the lining piece and the outside piece, I went ahead and did Decoville Light. Now, the very first thing that we're going to grab is we're going to grab our outside piece that they designed for the bag and our outside gusset. So what we're going to do is we're going to do right sides together, and we're going to clip it all the way around just like this, and then we're going to sew it at 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we've got the outside piece attached to the outside gusset. Something I did want to mention, if you're not cool with 1/4 inch seam allowances, you can also go ahead and just cut it out to whatever seam allowance you want, 3/8 or whatever it is. You don't have to stick to the 1/4 inch. It's just what I like. I don't like wasted material. Second thing is I went ahead and I did 1/4 inch all the way around, and sometimes when you work with vinyl and you open it up, you can kind of see the stress on the seams. So I went ahead and did 1/8 of an inch all the way around just to kind of give it a little support behind the first set of seams so that you didn't see, you know, when you pop it out, you don't see those stitches. Now, I did switch out to a size 16 needle because I saw that it was kind of perforating the vinyl. 16 is the smallest size that I've got, so if you've got like a 14 or something like that, you might want to give that a go until you get to putting it all together. So, having said that, you're now going to want to grab the lining piece. And that's going to be this and your gusset, and you're going to do the same exact thing that you did to this piece, attaching them all together like that. And while I'm at the sewing machine, I'm going to go ahead and grab my D-rings. I went ahead and put a 3/4 of an inch strip of Decoville Light in there just for stability, and then I marked it in the center. And what I'm going to do is I've grabbed some double-sided tape. I'm going to peel that off and then make my sides come to the center like that. And then I'm just going to top stitch on both sides just so that they stay down like that. Alright, so we've got our lining all connected. We're going to put both the outside and the lining aside for just a minute. You've got your D-ring straps connected. I just kind of did close to the edge so that they go together. Definitely use double-sided tape. It really saves a lot of headache. So now we're going to grab our zipper pouch, and they measure 10 wide by 8 high. I wanted to make it as wide as I possibly could so that we can turn this inside out. So for me, and everybody's different, okay? For me, I like to measure up 1.25 inches. I just like to give myself a little extra room on the top of the flap when I'm sewing around it so that it lays like it's supposed to. You can do 1 inch, it's up to you. I don't know why I've got my rotary cutter. So I've got it nice and centered. I've got it up 1.25 inches. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to go in. If you have a zipper template, you can use it here. But I'm going to go in 1 inch on this side, 1 inch on that side, and then I'm going to connect the two lines like that. Hopefully you can see that. Now, I'm going to go up 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to make myself a little rectangle so that I can do my zipper. So hopefully you can see that. Alright, now we're going to grab the lining. So I've got my lines all where I can see that I'm going to not mess this up. So about 1/2 inch from the bottom, we're going to put our lining. So this is going to attach to the top of our bag. This is going to be inside of our lining. You won't see this part. You'll see the zipper poking out. So about 1/2 inch from the bottom, and you can use your ruler and measure it out. I am going to put my lining that I made right there, and then I'm just going to clip it. Make sure that it's centered as best you can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch my little rectangle so that I can turn it inside out and make my little zipper pouch. Alright, so I have got my lining all sewn in, and then you just cut a lining down the center, and then you want to make your little triangles down this end. Hopefully you can see them. I can't see my viewfinder from here. Okay, so you got that all done. Now we're going to grab a 9.5 inch zipper. I went ahead and put my zipper pull on my zipper tape. And then because this is vinyl and this is waterproof canvas, you can't iron it to make it lay flat like it's supposed to. So I am going to take it from the back, and I'm going to grab my gigantic thing of double-sided tape. You know what? Let's grab 1/2 inch. I'm used to using my 1/4 inch tape, but I do declare I think this 1/2 inch tape would be amazing to work with, and I'm going to try it out. Oh. There was a sale, so we bought tape. I'm going to put one on the bottom, and I'm going to put one on the top. And that is going to hold my waterproof canvas. It's going to hold it down long enough for me to sew my zipper. So let's take our waterproof canvas and pull it through. Now I'm just going to do one side at a time because that is going to be so much easier than trying to do both of them. I'm going to straighten out my top first and kind of get it the way that I want it. And then I'm going to peel this tape off. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright. We're going to use that double-sided tape to hold that in place so it's out of our way. Alright, now do the same thing with the bottom. You don't want to do the tape on the sides or all the way to the sides, because then you won't be able to sew your zipper lining all together. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this down first, and that'll hold that seam out of my way. And then I'm going to roll with my fingers and get that bottom pulled nice and tight. So I have a nice edge. I don't want my waterproof canvas peeking through if I can help it. Oh, that was so much easier using double-sided tape. Okay. Like I said, because it's vinyl, because it's waterproof canvas, you can't iron it, and double-sided tape is just like a miracle worker. So work on that, get that all straight. Then we're going to get some more double-sided tape. I'm going to go back to my 1/4 inch tape. And then we're going to put our zipper on. So let's grab that, and we're going to put it directly on our zipper, on the edge of our zipper. Let's move that aside. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Nothing would be worse than finding out you guys cannot literally see anything that I'm doing. Okay, just on the edge. Because I don't want this to move. I want it to be nice and straight. If you have a wobbly zipper, if you use double-sided tape to place it, it really does help. Alright, now we're going to take the top tape first, and making sure that your zipper opens from left to right. You can do it your preference, but I think that's how a lot of people do it, from left to right. So we're going to peel off, maybe, there we go. Peel that tape off. We're going to take it like so, making sure that the zipper is nice and in the middle, so that I see a little bit of zipper tail on this side and a little zipper tail on that side. I always like to have a little extra hanging just so I can see it. Alright, get your zipper pull out of the way. We're going to lift this up, peel the tape, and then I'm just going to kind of let it fall where it wants to. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew 1/8 inch from the edge all the way around, and I'm going to extend my stitches to a 4, just because I think it's kind of like top stitching. It just really looks a lot nicer at a 4. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I did all of my top stitching, and it looks beautiful. I love that pull. That's really going to stand out when you open up your bag. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this over, and then we're going to grab our other piece that is 8 by 10, and then we're going to line those up. Now, when we're sewing these, we're going to leave the bottom open for now. I am going to attempt to turn this inside out. So with the chocolate frog boxes, it was lining outside, lining vinyl on the inside. And they were a pain in the butt to turn inside out. So we are actually working on getting the linings to be separated from the actual outside, so that you can have like a vinyl outside and then like a cotton inside. We're working on it, but we're not there yet. So we're going to have to just kind of work with what we got with this pattern. Future Faith cutting in to say that originally we had planned on having everything on one panel just to kind of make it easier for you guys. But when I put this together, it was vinyl on vinyl, and the chocolate frog boxes were the same thing, but they had a bigger hole to turn inside out. And so I messaged Alex and I was like, look, this is tough. So what they're going to be doing is the outside is going to be vinyl or whatever base you want to get, and then the inside she's going to have an option that's separate, so that say you want pebble vinyl on the outside but you want cotton on the inside or a canvas on the inside, you can buy that separately so that you can have 2 different ones, because birthing this bad boy was rough. Just know that that's what we're working on, that's what we're doing now. So in the video I do only have both vinyl, so if it looks a little weird, it looks a little different, that's why. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm actually going to start on this side. We're going to figure it out. Right now, as of right now, the plan is to turn it inside out through this. That's why I made the zipper hole so big. We're going to start here, 1/4 inch, stop, pivot, sew down here, pivot and come up. We're going to leave the bottom open so that we can hopefully turn all this inside out. We'll see. Alright, now we're grabbing our lining pieces. You got that all done, you've got this, and you got this. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to find the midpoint in your gusset. So after I've sewed it together, and you should probably do this first, I put the gusset together like this and just kind of followed it all the way around until I found the midpoint, made a little notch out of it. Then on the very bottom, making sure that it's where your zipper pouch is, the shorter end of your flap, don't do it up here. I went ahead and I made a notch in the middle, the center too, so that I could kind of line them up, and then you're going to clip all the way around. Now, a couple of things. The side of your gussets should be from the edge of your flap, your top flap, should be 10.5 inches down. It should meet at 10.5 inches all the way around. So start on the middle and then measure 10.5 inches from the top to here, and you can make a mark if you want, and then just go ahead and clip, and then clip all the way around. Also, when you're going to sew this, you're going to have to get this out of the way. So what I had to do was, when I was sewing it, I had to kind of like fold it like this so that it's out of the way, and then just sew all the way around. I had to take this and move it out of the way, sew all the way around, and I accidentally got a little bit there, but it's nothing to get upset about. So you just need your pocket out of the way so you can turn your stuff inside out, and so that it's not stuck to the bottom or anything. So your lining is done. So go do that. I'm going to go do it on my second one, and then we'll move on to the outside. So I forgot to mention, when you meet up your 10.5 inches and you meet at that mark, you need to start sewing about 1/4 inch away from this edge right here. That's how we're connecting the lining and the outside. So I completely forgot to tell you guys, just make sure that you don't sew that one corner. Alright, so we got all of our pieces. We're almost done. I grabbed this before I connected them so we could go ahead and talk about the magnetic snaps. Now, I'm going to find the center, and you're going to mark 1.5 inches up. Then you're going to add your little snap connector. Then we're going to grab our lining, and I'll show you while I'm doing it. We're going to find the center, and I'm just going to give it a little clip, and then I'm going to measure 1 inch up. Or 1.25 inches, sorry. I'm going to measure 1.25 inches up. And what I do is put a mark here and make a little cross so I know it's exactly where I need to be. Then you're going to grab your little washer cap, mark on each side. Now be careful if you're using your seam ripper on this vinyl. You just want to be careful because it can just keep on going. So just open that up. Put your magnet right there. Then you're going to grab some Peltex, the one-sided interfacing. It's a little thicker than regular interfacing. You want to do that on both of them. And you're going to slip that on, and then your washer. The mailman is out, so all the neighborhood dogs are having a fit. Alright, I'm going to squeeze that down just like that. Set that aside. We're going to grab this panel again. You're going to want to make your middle mark, just a little clip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this middle clip that I've made in the middle of my gusset, and I'm going to match up just like we did with the lining. I'm going to match it up here. I've already, I haven't done it yet. I'm going to mark 10.25 or 10.5 from here to here, and then I'm going to clip all the way around. Alright, so we got it all clipped up, minus one. I'm going to go ahead and sew that piece, and then our outside and our inside lining will all be sewn up, and now we can put them together. Alright, both are sewn up. We're ready to roll. We're almost done. Alright, now, in my experience with working with this vinyl, you want to take your time and just do one corner at a time. We're taking the front panel and turning it right side out. Y'all think this is bad. Wait until you get to birth the bag. Oh my goodness. Alright. So we're going to straighten it out. Oh. I don't know about you guys, but I love like this right here. I think that's so cool. I hope they do it on some more books. I like the little trim. Alright, now the lining, we need to make sure that our zipper is all the way open because we're going to be turning it through there, and y'all gonna need some epidural for this bad boy. Alright, now we're gonna put this inside of our lining. What I like to do is I like to start at the corners, and we're gonna do what's called butterfly seams. Hopefully you can see it. One set of seams goes one way and the other set of seams goes the other way, so that they don't they're not on top of each other. And then they get real thick. Now I know what you're going to ask me. Where are your strap connectors? They're coming. We're going to get this all pinned up first, and then we're going to put our strap connectors in there. You could go ahead and base them in place, but I'm just going to stick them in there. Squish! And I'm going to go ahead and clip all of this up first. Now you're going to have to finagle it a little bit and talk nice to it. Now that you've got it clipped up, the way that I found to sew this, I'm going to take you over to the sewing machine with me so that you can see what I'm doing. I know I haven't done that in this video, and I'm sorry. But the best way to sew this is going to be with this facing up. I tried to do it the other way, and it was just too much to maneuver and try and fold things over. So I would sew it just as we are. I'm going to start right here, a nice open spot, and then we're going to sew all the way around. So let me take you to the sewing disc. Alright, so I got it all laid out. I've got my stitches at a 3. I've got my 16 needle in. I would suggest like a 14 if you've got it. I only had a 16, so that's what we're working with. We're getting to this intersection right here. I think I'm going to zoom in so you guys can hopefully see it. There's an intersection right there where we're going off to the side. Make sure that you go past where you didn't sew. Put your needle down if you need to pivot right now. And make sure that I'm plenty past that, because I do not want to get turning my bag inside out and find out that I didn't catch it good enough. Now, I forgot. We need to grab our D-ring connectors. Oh my gosh, I knew I was going to do that. So I legitimately knew that I was going to forget these. You're going to get your strap connectors with your little line that's open in between. Put your D-ring on and then fold it in half like this. Then go ahead and clip them to your bag. You want about an inch of your D-ring strap connector hanging out. That way when we turn it inside out, we can top stitch it again, and that'll make sure that it's doubly like in there. Your strap connector's not going anywhere. Now that I've already started sewing, I'm going to have to shove it in there. You want to make sure they're in the middle of your sides, and when I get done sewing, I will take the bag out and I'll show you. But I'm just going to shove it in there, make sure it's about an inch, and make sure that it's in the middle. Try not to break any more clips. I have broken so many clips this week. I don't know what it's about, but I guess it's time to buy some clips. Alright, so we're heading towards our other side where our gusset is. I'm going to get a little bit closer, and I'm going to grab my second D-ring, close it up. I'm going to make sure that it's right smack dab in the middle and an inch out. Ugh. Come here, bag. You can also baste them in place on your gusset if you want to, and that way you make sure that they don't move. I've gone over it once, and just like I do everything else, I tend to go over things twice. When you're birthing your bag, you're going to have a lot of tension on that thread. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little extra something and just go all the way around again, right behind it, or right beside it. Alright, first things first, we're going to look where we couldn't see, and we're going to make sure that both layers of vinyl got caught. Before we turn this sucker inside out, we're going to make sure that we have everything caught the way it was supposed to. Because if we turn this thing inside out, y'all going to be fussing at me. I'm going to trim down my corners just a little bit. There's not much left now that I've done the other seam beside it. Just right where I need to turn it, and I want it to stay round. Then I'm going to grab some of my really sharp snips, and we're going to come to this corner, and you're going to want to snip. The seam is making like an L, and you're going to want to clip inside of that so that when it turns, it'll lay flat without cutting your threads. Try really hard. Alright, this one you might be able to see. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better in this one. So let me zoom you back in. So you see my stitches are right here, maybe. And then I went up right here. So over and up. In this little over and up, you're going to want to drop your scissors. You're going to want to clip in between there without hitting your threads. She's thick. I'm just making a few cuts so that this will be a little more flexible when I turn it inside out and I'm trying to top stitch it. So you want to do that to both of those sides. So the first one that I turned inside out, I am not going to lie, it was rough. The lining is vinyl, the outside is vinyl. If you did the chocolate frog box purse, you feel me. You feel me. Hopefully you've made sure that your zipper is open. Yep. The way that I found the easiest way to do this is to try and get this flat first, and then try and get all of this mass through here. So, deep breath. Alright. I will have some epidural now, please, and thank you. Okay, when I get this turned inside out, I'll start the camera again. Let me introduce you to my sixth child. Oh my lord, that was tough. Okay, now we got that done. We're going to start at a inconspicuous place, and we are going to switch our stitches to a 4, and then do our top stitching. And hopefully I have a nice full bobbin. We'll see. And then you're just going to stitch all the way around. Alright, last step, we're almost there. Alright, now we need to close up your zipper pocket. So I'm just kind of folding it down about a 1/2 inch on each side, and then I'm going to meet those sides together. And then you're just going to sew across there and close up your bag. And you're all done. You are ready for your cosplay. You are ready to give an amazing gift. Alright, so you're going to cut all of your strings, you're going to burn the ends, and then you're just going to stick your zipper pocket back in your purse. Now, I plan on using a webbing for my strap. Because the panel doesn't come with the strap, you're going to have to come up with something. And I know a lot of you guys have been using webbing a lot more. I see it everywhere now. So webbing is a good option. Ugh. Oh my gosh, go in. Zip her up. Oh, I'm going to have to straighten her out a little bit, but she's a cutie. Alright guys, what did you think? So, I wanted to do another really easy pattern so that it was quick, it was fast. A lot of the other patterns that we've been doing lately are kind of intricate and take a little bit longer, so I wanted to do something a little simple so that we could kind of have an easy sew. So hopefully you guys like that video. If you like that video, you can give it a thumbs up, or if you want to subscribe and see some more of the collaborations we have coming up. I cannot wait till next year. There's some really cool stuff coming up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the videos. If you have any questions, comments, maybe something wasn't super clear, like I said, I tried to make this one as easy to put together as physically possible. If you have any questions, comments, I'm going to leave all of the links down below, and I do check those messages daily. So thanks for joining us again on Faith Works Designs. Bye guys.